Hey, it's Guy B from Vital MX. We're here in San Diego for press day, checking up on some of the leftover tidbits from Oakland. We've got Tyler Bowers and Eli and Chris and Craig talking about that. We'll also catch up with some of the other guys that are out here to check out the track for today. Okay, it's San Diego pre-race with Tyler Bowers, and that was a crazy crash last weekend in Oakland.
Yeah, it was a bit of a wild ride. I came into the rhythm section and somebody had knocked a tough block down. One of the track crews put it back up, and it was just a little bit out of line. And our tolerances last weekend were very tight. I was running right next to the tough blocks to stay out of the ruts and stuff. So I was right next to them, and just it being 6 inches out of the way, caught my toe, ripped me off the back. Of course, the only thing that stayed on the bike was my throttle hand, and it stayed on wide open. So I went for a little bit of a ride, and very lucky, me flying through the air upside down. I was really nervous it was going to be way worse, of course. Seeing nothing but the stars in the sky while I'm flying through Oakland. So landed on my back mostly. Legs and everything are fine. Bruised a shoulder, broke a couple ribs, broke my pinky, sprained my wrist, bruised my lung. So it was a rough week, but fortunately I've ridden with most of this stuff before, and it doesn't feel too bad. I did a lot of therapy this week with Dr. Navarro and got a lot of the swelling out and kind of just kept moving all week, so I didn't have to worry about stiffening up. So I'm going to try to ride a little bit today and see how it goes, and probably practice in the morning, go from there.
What were you thinking when you hit the ground in Oakland?
When I hit the ground, I was flying through the air. Yeah.
You were doing the hand signal like that?
Yeah, no, it was bad. I mean, basically my whole torso, I hit so hard, it just I kind of went into shock, and nothing wanted to move. Like I was just in protection mode. The medics were trying to get me off the track, and I was like, they were like, you got to get up, you got to get off the track. And I'm like, I'm not moving. Like, you guys got to pick me up and carry me then. So, just kind of laid there, and my neck hurt super bad then, so I thought I kind of broke it. We checked it out. I thought for sure I hurt something and at least strained it, and checked it out, and it seemed all right. I went to bed, woke up the next day, and it was fine. So that was kind of the scariest part, is like I did land mostly on my back/neck, and with it hurting so bad at the time, I was really scared. But yeah, just got in the truck, drove back to Bakersfield, halfway point on the way home, and went to sleep. Woke up the next morning, didn't feel too bad. It was the second day that I felt horrible. I woke up at my house on Monday morning, and my ribs hurt super bad. My wrists wouldn't move. So the therapy brought out the best in me, though.
Well, glad to see you here in vertical.
Yeah, it was a lot better than last week and upside down through the air.
All right, Eli, I know it's been a little rough this season. There's been kind of the highs and the lows all packed into the first 6 races.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's been. It's, it's been bad and good. Obviously the good was Anaheim 2 and Phoenix. Then Oakland was no bueno, and then everyone knows what happened in Anaheim 1. And then just trying to play catch up with my shoulder. It's getting pretty close now to where I really don't even feel it. So I would say within the next week or something, I wouldn't even know it's there. I can kind of get back to my normal routines, for middle of the week training, and because even leading up to Anaheim 2 and Phoenix, I was cutting a lot of things out, not hitting whoops, not able to get my moto, so almost back to my normal routine now.
Is the hard pack kind of non-rutted stuff a little happier for you right now?
That's exactly what it is. It's just easier to ride. When I tried it in Houston, it was, well, my shoulder just wasn't up to par anyway, but anytime there's those big ruts, it's the bike's just pulling you, whichever direction a lot harder, and when you got a tweaked arm, it's no bueno. So, the rutted tracks were harder for me to ride.
Talking with some of the guys, they said you've been doing a whole lot of rehab, though.
Yeah, I've been doing everything for rehab or everything possible, really, with just getting it moving again and trying to get inflammation out and just getting it going again. There's been no lack of effort there for getting back to where we're at.
Last week in Oakland, how much was Justin being there a problem? Did you guys make a lot of contact, or what was the deal in the corner?
There was contact, and he took me out. It might have looked like I didn't get hit that hard, but there was nowhere for me to go anyway, and I was already kind of coming down the berm. So, riding that turn, it wasn't a spot you could really make a whole lot of passes at. So I was just kind of impatient by him, and I got jacked by it. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen on the forum this week. We've got some guys that have all the inside info on you, and they're pretty sure you're not racing and hanging it up for the season.
Oh gosh, I mean, yeah, like I said, it. And what sucks when you get taken out in the early part of the race like that, whatever. If you get taken out on lap 16, much better situation. But I don't know what it was. It was only a couple laps in, and then you got the whole pack goes by you, so you get pretty jacked. I rode like crap after that anyway, but it would have been a lot better result if I wouldn't have gotten, taken to the ground.
What's the goal from here on out?
I mean, it would be the Anaheim 2 and Phoenix goal, which is to win races. That's all I can do. I mean, yeah, that's it. Stay healthy. Try not to play catch up anymore, and stay healthy and win.
It's funny. Last week I was talking to Kenny and said this wasn't the season everyone was expecting. He goes, "It's not." I would guess you'd differ on that.
Yeah, I mean, it just. For me, it sucked because of Anaheim won. That just sucks. I was leading and it was all good. For rainbows and unicorns. Flying, everything's all good and happy. And for that to happen, it sucked.
All right, here with Aaron Plessinger. Man, you look a lot more alive than the guy that was on the podium last weekend.
Yeah. I felt so bad last week. It was horrible. After the main, I collapsed, and yeah, it was not a fun time. I could barely breathe. Had to go sit in Asterisk for a little bit, or Alpine Star now, for a little bit, and recollect myself. And then when I went home, even Sunday, I was really bad off, and then I started getting better around Tuesday, and now I'm feeling like a little cold, but it's definitely better than last weekend for sure.
I think that may have been the first time I've ever seen anybody apologize for no dancing on the boat or after the race.
Yeah. The fans were telling me they wanted to see it all day, and I was prepared to give it to them. And then after the main, I was just so dead. I was not feeling it at all. So I just laid down. Kind of took it all in and went about my business.
This year's been it's been a little funny because you've had some really great races and then you've had some sort of not so great. What's the difference between the two?
So I think it was A2. I got second, or not second, seventh, I think, and. Yeah, it was just I think the format kind of messed me up a little bit, and my starts weren't as good, and it was just a lot of things piled up in one. So when you have that kind of night and you come out with seventh, it's still pretty good, but that's behind us now, and we're focused on winning and keeping this red plate on the bike. So it's been a great year. Everything's fallen my way. So. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but I'm feeling good. I'm riding good, so it's going to be a good rest of the year.
How's it been with the red plate? Is it that much more attention and pressure and everything else?
I haven't even thought about it. I just think it's another color. It's it's not anything that's going to get into my head or anything. So it's pretty fun actually. It's almost like a target. So. You want to go a little faster than everybody else.
I mean, we've been doing pretty good. Obviously, I've been riding a lot better the last couple rounds. The kind of goal was to start off and, kind of get into top 10 finishes, and I've been able to do that the first 5 rounds. Last weekend was a little bit of a struggle, obviously with that crash and, making it a little difficult on myself, but still was able to get inside the top 10, which was cool because the track was really brutal. But yeah, I'm just stoked on how it's going so far. I feel like, hopefully we can get a couple notches and get in the top 5. I think that's the next kind of, stepping stone and goal. And, I feel really good.
How's bike different this year, or is it?
No, my bike's actually really close to the exact same as what we ended off last year. We had a whole year of testing on the suspension and, kind of the whole setup that I've been on right now. And I didn't really change much. I felt comfortable. So I think we've kind of made like some little tweaks here and there just, due to the tracks. But for the most part, the bike's still the same.
Looking forward to getting out of California?
Yeah, I mean, I am. And it's nice because we don't have to travel as much or, as far. But, once we start heading East Coast, it's going to be a little bit more grueling with all the flights and travel back and all that type of stuff. I'm going to be going back and forth to California, so it'll be a little bit difficult. But, no, excited for the other tracks. I always like the East Coast dirt, ruts up. Even when they work on it before the main events, it's really nice. So, yeah, just ready to have some fun.
Good luck out there.
Thanks.
All right, Chad, you actually got some testing in this week?
I did. I tested Tuesday. So, yeah, it's awesome, actually. We didn't get to, we put a long day in, but, we were so focused in an area that we didn't really get to branch out. But, I'm lucky that in a couple of weeks, Goose and everybody's going to be in Florida, so we'll put those guys to work there. But no, it was a great week. I feel better than I did last week, and that's always the goal. It's always the plan to try to get out there and to just progress a little here and there. And it was the first time that I felt that we could take gambles. Like when you're at the races and you only got 28 minutes. All practices together. You got to pick and choose your battles, and you always side on the cautious side, and knowing that if you get it wrong, it's not going to be too wrong. So we were able to get a little bit more wild this week, and it helped.
Watching you pull a boot off at A1, it was fairly obvious that it was still not feeling real good.
Yeah, and it hasn't. It's progressed in a lot of ways, and then in a lot of ways it's still the same. I have a little more range of motion, and then what that has done is basically now I'm getting into my Achilles now. Like beginning of the season, I didn't have enough range of motion to really stretch or get into my calf and my Achilles from being in a boot for 7 weeks. So now I'm dealing with some Achilles pain and swelling and just a whole new part of it. So it's kind of like one part of my ankle is much better, and then now we're pushing into another area. But that, for me, that's progress. Like it hurts. It's not ideal, but it's just we're going in the right direction, and that's what that's all I can ask for.
And it's tough to make progress with 0 minutes on the bike during the week.
Yeah, I've been riding a little bit. This week I obviously rode the one day. Last week I actually, the week before this one, I rode 2 days. But when I ride, it's, you're kind of just riding to ride. Of course, I try to push as I can, but you just do what you can do. It is what it is. It's like there's no perfect solution to, making it all happen faster. I definitely want to click my fingers, click my heels, whatever it is that can give me my fitness, give me back my ankle range of motion and all those things. But it is what it is, man. And I'm happy to be out here, and it's challenging, but it's rewarding in little ways. Like I'm seeing progress each and every week in areas that maybe don't show on a paper, but we're getting there, and I feel like when it all comes together, it'll all come together at the one time, and hopefully then I can be more competitive and where I expect to be.
All right, Christian, I thought we were going to see a different winner in the class last weekend.
I think everybody did. I was confident all day and so happy with my riding from the first practice on, and then once I got in that lead in the main event, that was my first lead of the year. So it felt good not to come from behind or any of that, man. I was happy being up front, and I felt so good. And then, one mistake through a rhythm section just threw me off, and man, the rest is history. I just couldn't get going after that. Joey and Justin were second and third right in front of me, and after that mistake, I just was a little flustered. So just rode it out for fourth, unfortunately. But we got this weekend.
Talk about this crazy corner behind you.
Yeah, I just saw it. It looks pretty cool. It's an option, so. I think that's the first option of this year, little option section. I'm thinking people are going to be going inside. It's looking like more of a funnel to the inside, but this track looks awesome. I just checked out the whoops, and that's my favorite part of the track, so whoops look good. And I'm happy to be here in San Diego.
Do you think that makes sense on press day? Don't let the guys ride the whoops and chew them up and figure them out on Fridays?
For the people that ride press days, so mostly it's some of the top riders that ride press day, and we don't struggle with whoops too much. So I don't have a problem with it. I go hit most of the stuff first lap anyways, but I mean, for the privateers, yeah, it would be better just to get that feel of how they built them and stuff, but like I said, I have no problem with it.
Well, can you throw some fatties out there for us today?
Of course. We gotta see what we're riding here today, but track looks good. The dirt actually looks really good. Not too wet. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.